Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the Healing Version Podcast. I am your host, Deborah, and what's up, y'all? I know y'all probably missed me last week. Apologies that I was not in attendance to give y'all weekly dose of the Healing Version. I really apologize from the bottom of my heart. However, life has been happening. But yeah, we're gonna get into that. I'm gonna tell y'all how everything's been going on with me, what's been going on, how I've been feeling. So let's get into this episode, part 2 of the Black Sheep. What's up? So yeah, life has definitely been lifing. Um, I won't complain. I really could. Like, this single parent thing is no joke. Shout out to all the single parents out there that is doing this thing with little to no help at all. This is not a easy road. Um, but you're doing it. And kudos to you. I'm happy. I'm proud of you. And keep going. Um, but y'all, I have been it's been a lot going on. First of all, last week was so crazy and so hectic for me. Um, Two of my kids had to go to the doctor on two separate days for two separate, totally different things. They're perfectly fine now. They're good. Um, but like I was so tired. And then one of my classes requires that we do discussion responses daily. Yeah, I ain't been to school or college, I should say, in 6 years. I basically dropped out when I got pregnant with the twins, and I got far along in my pregnancy, and it became too much to try to go to school, go to work, and be pregnant with twins. So I dropped out. But anyway, I was actually going on campus, but now my all my classes are online, and yeah, one of these instructors is requiring that we log on every day and we reply to a different classmate on their discussion. And I mean, there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, except for the fact that I just feel like you want us to get one every day is crazy. Now, you wanting us to reply to multiple people, cool, but to require us to come back every day and reply to at least two people, cite our reply, and do all that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like not used to school, so I'm just like lazy in it. But I'm just saying, whatever, girl. Well, my other class, which is the intro to podcasting class, is my more easy class, and I'm so thankful for that. And I had another class, y'all, that I was on a wait list for, but they dropped me and said they wasn't going to have room this semester. I'm so glad I didn't get into that class. I am not mad at all. At first I was, because I'm like, dang, I ain't going to get as many credits as I wanted to get. But baby, I am not mad that I didn't get into that class. I'm moving forward with each psychology class. I'm going to do my best to take something that's more like fun and easy, because I couldn't imagine having two classes that's requiring me to respond to people daily. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good in school. Grades are looking amazing. I'm just happy, not happy. I'm just ready for it to be all over. I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be walking across the stage. But I know I'm probably going to go back for my master's. So, yeah, school is probably going to be in my future for some more years. But what y'all been up to? How y'all been feeling? Have you checked in with yourself? Have you made sure you're straight? Is you looking good, feeling good? If not, figure out what is not making you happy and change it. We have the ability to change things in our life to make us happy. But yeah, I thought about it after the fact, but last week I told you I was gonna give y'all like a list of everything that's been going on. And like when I tell y'all my mind be running like 1,000 miles a minute, it really do. So I didn't even tell y'all everything, I don't think. But like, I mean, overall mentally I'm doing great. Just busy as ever, just having a lot on my plate. But I'm used to having a lot on my plate. And that's one of those things that like is going to really carry us into this conversation because I feel like as black sheep, we don't know how to stop and ask people for help. We don't know how to really accept help because we're so used to being codependent and just dependent on ourselves and not relying on people to help us that we don't know how to accept help, one, or ask for help, two. So I feel like that is another part of my healing journey that I need to explore, and that is allowing people to come in and help me, accepting help, and I don't know, but deep down inside, I feel like that is something that I'm gonna have to learn before God blesses me with my husband, because I can't imagine my husband coming in and wanting to like do all these things and help me and like my dependency and just being so strong willed when it comes to not needing anybody just like messes that up in a way where we have to sit down and maybe have counseling or something. So I don't know. I don't know why my mind just went there, but and maybe that was a message for somebody. I don't know. But um overall I'm straight. I just I'm just busy as ever and I am looking for a virtual assistant to help me with one of my businesses, y'all, cuz honey, um one of the women that I met on this app, yeah, it'd be so much resourceful things on apps and just networking just out there on the social medias. But anyway, one of the girls that I've been knowing for a couple of years, she was like, you should get somebody to help you with your business. Like you can hire a virtual assistant and set your own rates and tell them, how much you'll pay them to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, damn, I never thought of that. So that is something that I'm exploring to help me with one of my businesses. The other one, I'm just going to have to invest in money wise to get it to where I want it to be. But yeah, so that's neither here nor there. That's just a little background, a little one clue about what's been going on with me. I hope that you have been amazing. You have been great. I hope that you are checking in on yourself mentally and that you are doing exactly what makes you happy and not people pleasing to other people. So, I'd like to talk about some things that I feel like I struggle with as the black sheep. I feel like a lot of times we don't take notice to things or we block them out because we just want to forget about them. We don't want to think about them. We don't want them hunting us. So we just like do different things to block them out. I've talked about on previous episodes about like smoking and drinking, like to kind of numb you to what's going on around you that you want to forget about. And I speak against it because I feel like it is definitely a coping mechanism that allows people to numb their pain or forget about something. But the reality of the situation is once you're not drunk anymore, once you're not high anymore, whatever situation you're running from is still going to be there. So I just feel like it's very important that we face a lot of these things head on. Um, so that really is a message to me as well because as I was making notes for this show, I was writing down like things that I struggle with, and I'm just really being transparent and being honest with myself because I know that is important on this journey of healing. Because if you can't be honest with what you need to heal from, you won't heal from it because you don't think you need to because there ain't nothing wrong with it. Because I don't need to heal from that. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. So I'm just gonna go through things that I feel like I struggle with as a result of being the black sheep. Because I feel like as a black sheep, you you're so isolated to the surroundings of family and the things of family. So one of the things that I feel like I struggle with or that bothers me is feeling excluded, not being included in family functions, not being invited to certain things. And for whatever reason, that is, I ain't never had nobody come to me and be like, oh, I don't want you to come to X, Y, and Z because of X, Y, and Z. It's just always a non invite. And y'all, I do understand that everybody can't take me. Like my energy, my aura, the things that I possess, a lot of people just cannot take me. And I'm okay with that. For a long time, I wasn't okay with people not including me. I couldn't understand why I wouldn't be included or invited to certain things. But I'm at a point in my life where I'm just like, I'm going to be in the rooms that God wants me to be in. And I don't want to be in any rooms that I'm not supposed to be in. And it just is what it is. One of the things that I feel like hurt me pretty bad is lack of support when it comes to family. I don't feel like I get support from my family, even with this podcast. And I'm not talking about like the people that I'm close to that I talk to on a regular. I'm not talking about y'all. I know y'all listen, and even if you don't listen, I know that you support me because you've shown me support. I'm talking about the fact that the family is so huge that I shouldn't be begging for subscribers on YouTube. I shouldn't be begging for people to follow me on Instagram. Like the things that I'm asking are free. Like I'm asking for free support and I cannot get it. But I do know this, and this is for whoever's out there that's running a business that feels the same way that I feel when it comes to support. Just know that a huge part of your support is going to come from strangers. A complete stranger will step up and support you before your family will. And I feel like that's really, really sad, especially when you have a family as huge as mine. Like, what? You mean to tell me that Joe Blow from down the street that I don't know will come in and support me before one of my uncles that I share the same blood with? But that's the reality of the situation. And that's why I've learned to be my own cheerleader and celebrate myself. Because what I've learned is that if I want to be happy, I got to figure out what things I need to do when it comes surrounding support to make me happy. What was making me sad was not getting the support of my family. So, like, what can I do to turn that around? So I started celebrating myself. For example, everybody that knows me knows for my birthday, I'm more than likely not going to be in my home state. Like, I go out of the town, I go out of the country. I'm getting away for my birthday. I've learned a few years ago that I can't even get a birthday party. No shade. Take it how you want. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start doing something for me. Like what makes me happy. I love to travel. So I make it a point to travel for my birthday every year. I didn't go anywhere this year, and that's because me and the kids was going on a cruise in like a month after my birthday. But I still count it as like a birthday trip / family trip, although it was a month later. But yeah, so you that's listening, if you're doing something and you feel that the support of your family, your friends is not there, then celebrate yourself. Do what you got to do to make yourself happy. Like if you got to physically pat yourself on the back, do that. I feel like that's very, very important because when you don't have the support of the people that you feel like you should have the support of, that hurts. So, yeah. Another thing that I feel like I struggle with is like relationships, one-on-one relationships with like cousins. I got some strained ass cousin relationships, and a lot of times I think, and I'm like, damn, like, is this my fault? Like, did I ruin this relationship? But when I go back and I do inventory on the relationships and the people that I don't really mess with anymore, I stop fooling with them because they did something to me. I can't think of anybody that walked away and stopped fucking with me because I did some scandalous snake shit to them. Anybody that I've stopped fucking with, it was because they did something to me. Like, we don't talk because I decided it. And like, that's no flex, and like I'm not saying it in a way to be like, yeah, like I'm big and bad and I run a show or anything. It's just me saying that I know when like people are on snake shit. I know when people don't have my best interest, and I don't care if you're family, friend, I don't care who you are. If I feel like you are no good for me and you don't have my best interest, I'm not dealing with you. I'm not fooling with you. And that's something that we have to learn. We have to learn to let go of people who don't mean us no good, whether they're family or not. I feel like a lot of times we'll stick around and we'll deal with family because they're family. And family know how to make you feel bad for not dealing with them. Like family will borrow some money from you and never pay you back, and they'll feel like, oh, well, you family, I ain't gotta, I don't care about being family. If you're not going to do right by me, I don't have to deal with you, and I'm not going to. So I said all of that to say, like, yes, I cut off a lot of people. I don't feel obligated to have you in my life because you're family. I don't. We're not doing that. Another thing that I struggle with is the fear of abandonment. Man, y'all, my abandonment wound is so deep, and I feel like it stems from like instability as a child, as well as having people like come in and out of my life, having people disappear for long periods out of my life. So it's created this abandonment wound, and like y'all, every time I think that this wound is like getting better, something will happen in my life that'll like expose that no, there's still some healing that has to be done there with that abandonment wound. And I'll be like, golly, like I thought I was straight. And no, I don't be. And I know there's certain people in my life that trigger my abandonment wounds, so I don't generally like to have them coming in and out of my life. I don't allow them to do it. I don't allow them to be around me. Like I feed them with a long arm spoon, whatever, the long spoon, whatever that saying is from back in the day. But generally, I just don't deal with people who triggers me in that way. I feel like it's not healthy for us to allow people to continue to come back if we know that they're triggering to us and that we just know that they mean us no good. Like, I'm an energy person. I read energy. So I can read your energy through a text message, through an email, over the phone, and definitely in person. So I be like figuring out a lot of stuff before people ever expose their hand. Like I'm very intuitive as well. And I'm I'm learning more of like trusting my intuition and just discerning things. So sometimes I'll let people like slide on something like, nah, you ain't on that snake shit for real. Like you ain't on that. And then it'll be exposed and I'll be like, I knew that. Like I knew it. Like I seen it a mile away. But I don't know how I got into that talking about abandonment, but we got there. A lot of this has caused me to have built up frustrations. I'm easily angered by things like when it comes to like family and thinking that people have done me wrong. I'm easily angered and triggered and like you got me fucked up. Like that, the role of a black sheep is really I don't want to say a dark one, but it makes you have this hard shell. And I'm a Cancer, so I'm a crab. So I already have that hard shell. And I feel like being a black sheep on top of that, it like gives us like this superpower. I'm not kidding you. So like I have this, I ain't even gonna go into the super, but I have this hard shell about me because I just feel like if I close people out and I don't allow them in, then I protect myself. And then I'll let somebody in and they'll do something and then it'll trigger me and I'll be like, I knew you didn't change. I knew you were still the same way. You got me fucked up. So, there's some relationships that I'm no longer like dealing with that I would give a second chance to, and I've talked about that in previous episodes, but like I promise you won't have to come to me. Like especially if you did some dirty to me, I'm and this is only for family. This is nobody other than family cuz let's keep it a book. If one of us passed away tomorrow, the other one will be fucked up. Like I ain't talked to you in years. Like we family. I ain't talked to you in years. Like you gone, I'm fucked up. So that's the reality that I like have to slap myself in the face with. But at the same time, I'm not forcing no relationships. And I feel like me going back after somebody played in my face, excuse me, would be definitely forcing a relationship because I want I would prefer a person to learn their lesson and know that they did something wrong and then come to me. And this, y'all, this is not to say that I ain't never did nothing wrong in no relationships or I ain't never like, I don't do people dirty. So like a lot of the snake shit that people done did to me, I right hand of God, I never do. I can say that I like people that did some really really snake shit to me. Maybe I should do. Y'all think I should do an episode called Snake Shit, and then I just go down a list of all the snake shit that like family members and did, and then like we can compare notes, and y'all can be like, well, damn, let me come on and tell you about some snake shit. Would that be petty and like is that gonna help us heal? I think it'll help me heal. Cause like I like talking things out, hence me having a podcast and telling y'all my damn business every week. It helps me like figure some shit out, get some shit out, express myself. So if you think that's a good idea, let me know and we gonna have a whole series on snake shit. Yeah, I know I keep talking about my dating series. It's coming. It's coming. Trust me. It's not just a conversation. Yeah, I want to do a whole month, like 4 episodes, probably 2 months, because I got a lot to talk about. And my sister and people them like, I got something to say about relationships. Hey, we can bring the men and women on. We gonna talk about it because hey, and I'm talking romantic relationships. We family gets enough episodes out of just the regular episodes. We talking romantic relationships. So if you want to come on with your man or your woman and y'all want me to interview y'all, we can do that as well. Just let me know. Just let me know how you want to do it, and we'll do that thing. The next thing that I want to talk about that I've struggled with is kind of it's kind of a soft spot for me. And like I'm being very vulnerable in talking about this because this is one of those things that like I have to remember I got to give myself grace on. And that is projection of pain, like projecting my pain onto others. I feel like a lot of my pain gets projected onto my children, and that's because I'm with them every day. I see them every day. When I'm frustrated, they're here. When I'm happy, they're here. We're under the same roof. So any and everything that I go through that I feel, they're here to go through and feel with me. So one of the things that I'm working on is not transferring energy, because a lot of things will upset me that has nothing to do with the children, and I'll be frustrated and I'm just like, just leave me alone, let me figure out my what the hell I got going on. Or I might be like, hey, like, maybe a little snappy because of whatever else I'm going through. So one of the things that I am working on doing and that I'm learning and that is I feel when it helped me is being able to like communicate to them when something's going on and just like give me a minute. And I have been doing that, but I am still also like snappy when I'm upset. And I know like that is the norm for some people, but I don't feel like that is a healthy trait to have with my children, is to be like snappy because something else is bothering me, or snappy with anybody for that reason. Like, don't give me the energy that you got from somebody else because they pissed you off or you're mad. So I don't want anybody to do that to me. So I'm working really hard at not doing the same thing. Because one of the things that y'all gonna hear me say like forever is that I can't like tell people like how to get better, what to do, it, based on what I went through and what got me better and what I did to get through things. Like I can't preach that and then also be like doing fucked up stuff. Like I can't be preaching healing and I'm not no preacher, so preaching, I ain't preaching. I can't be speaking on healing and telling my homegirl to stop going back to her baby daddy that ain't shit if I am allowing people back into my life that ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to practice what I be saying. But definitely the transferring of energy when it comes to projecting pain or frustration or anger, any type of projecting, any transferring of energy that's on you that you're putting on somebody that has nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, kids. I'm working on it. I'm going to get better. It's going to happen. One of the last points that I want to talk about is guilt and responsibility. And that just goes for everything that I've gone down and talked about, from the lack of support, the strained relationships, the fear of abandonment, any built up frustration, and then the projection of pain. And that is guilt and responsibility. Like sometimes I do feel responsible for how my family relationships are because I know that resolving any issues, fixing any issues with anybody is just one phone call away. One inbox on Facebook, one DM on Instagram, one instant message or DM on Snapchat. Like I know how to get in contact with people, but like I said earlier, I don't really see myself going back and reaching for relationships where I feel like I did nothing wrong. Anytime I feel like I've wronged somebody in a relationship, majority of the time I go back and I apologize. I'm going to say 95% of the time. The other 5%, it's more than likely a situation where I feel like it's no good for me anyway, or it's like there's no hope. Because story time. So, and I ain't even gonna tell y'all the whole story because I feel like this one of those story times that like you tell on TikTok and you get like 1 million views. And then I can start getting paid from TikTok. But anyway, I have a cousin that I fell out with. So me and cousin fall out, right? And so we have pretty much a strained relationship. Long story short, we decided that we were not going to allow whatever petty BS between us to like hinder us having a relationship. We decided to fix our relationship. We, started hanging out or whatever. And then this cousin turned around and did some of the snakiest snake shit, y'all. And I could not wrap my mind around it because we talked like grown women that we were going to fix our relationship and that we were working towards something and that we wanted better for our family and that we wanted to start doing all these things to bring families together just for you to turn around and do snake shit. Like, what? So that's one of those relationships where like I don't feel any guilt or responsibility for going back and grabbing. Like she gonna have to come to me, homegirl gonna have to come to me, and then even then like I accept your apology, like I love you, we cousins, but I'm not fucking with you. Like it's just some people that I'll never deal with on the same level that I've dealt with them in the past. Like sometimes you have to know when to stop, know when to walk away, know when something is just like, eh. You don't want to keep going down the same roads with the same people doing the same things. It makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like old keys don't open new doors. So you can give a person a chance and, see how it works out and just pray for the best. And if it don't work out to be the best, then it is what it is. So that cousin, I'll be cordial, but I don't have any fight in me when it comes to our relationship. Like I wouldn't hang out with her. Like she couldn't get me to, yeah. I ain't gonna go too much into that or draw it on any further. Just it is what it is. Um, Another thing that I want to talk about, like with black sheep, is the fact that I feel like we are those people within the family dynamic that the other black sheeps or people who are going through things can come to and trust. And I know this for a fact for me because so many people have come to me outside of family, inside the family, and told me like things that I'm going to take to the grave. Because I'm one of those people that like, if you tell me something and you like, don't tell nobody, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not exposing your secrets. It's nobody's business what you told me. That's between us, and it is what it is. I don't believe in that gossip and shit where somebody tell you something and you instantly gotta go tell their business. Like, I will never understand it. It's not for me to understand. It's not my thing. So I feel like in that, because people feel like they can talk to us, a lot of times people trauma dump on us. I have a lot of people trauma dump on me. And like, yeah, I'm going to school for psychology with a emphasis on mental health. So when it comes to like listening to people problems and giving people advice, that's my thing. I do that all the time for free. So the fact that I'm going to get a degree and I'm going to get paid to do it, it excites me. It makes me so happy. Like, I want nothing more than to like help people through like their problems and things, is like messing with them. Like, I like me coming on here. I say like a lot. But me coming on here week after week and talking to y'all and just being transparent, and it is really me coming on here like hoping that something that I went through is something I'm going through is relatable to somebody and to help them. Cause like I had so many people come to me and just be like, man, like when you said this, and I'm like, I did say that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, a lot of things I say, I feel like you coming from God for real, because I be knowing, like, I actually make notes and stuff for my show, believe it or not. No, but seriously, I make notes, so a lot of the stuff don't even be on my notes. Some of the stuff on my notes I don't get to. Like, I really feel like never mind, I ain't gonna say that. But anyway, so the trauma dumping. An example of trauma dumping that I can think of is, you got a homegirl, right? She got a baby daddy. He ain't shit. This thing ain't shit. Like, he be hitting on her, blacking her eye. She come to work, her wearing sunglasses. He take her car, don't put gas in it, late picking her up for work. And every time he does something, which is every week, she comes to you and she's telling you, girl, Tyrone then knocked me upside my head. He took my car for 3 days. I had to Uber and catch the bus to work. I couldn't get the kids to daycare. That's week one. Next week she come, girl, I found out he was cheating on me. He took my car again. I let him take me to work and he didn't come pick me up. My brother had to come get me. Or you gotta go get her. The next week, he took our EBT card, used all her food stamps. The next week, and every time he does something, she calls you and she's telling you. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that, especially with people like me who are empaths, who like feels energy. When you call us and you're telling us your problems, we are really taking on like that energy. So when you're allowing this to happen week after week after week after week, it's trauma dumping. And you're telling me because you trust me, I'm not going to go spread your tea to everybody in a friend group or put your business on Facebook. I don't care if we fall out. Now, that's one thing I can say about me. Anybody I done fell out with, I ain't never spilled their tea because it's not for me to do. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, I really treat people how I want to be treated. And I strive to do that in every single part of my life. I fall short sometimes. But for the most part, especially stuff like that messy gossip and shit. Like, yeah. So back to homegirl. So she's allowing this man in and out of her life. She's allowing him to take her heart. She's allowing him to do all this stuff. And every time she comes to you, she's trauma dumping it on you. And now you got this energy of him being ain't shit. Not only that, she keeps taking him back. You don't like him, but she love him. So she keeps taking him back. So now, even if you go over there to hang out with her or you see her or y'all, whatever, here he go with his ugly ass. Because she's going to continue to mess with him because she love him so much and that's her bookie boo. And she just want to be with this nigga and she don't understand that he's not good for her and that he's trash and that she needs to stop fucking with him. And I don't care if they do got kids together. Allow that nigga to play child support and stop fucking with him. Stop allowing him to run you through the mud. Now, that's some shit I'll tell my homegirl. Because my thing is, what you're not going to do is call me and tell me about this man week after week, and I can't give you any feedback. I can't tell you that he ain't shit and you should stop fucking with him. I can't tell you that. So if I can't be open and honest with you and tell you, hey, this is what we not going to do, then, baby girl, I ain't the friend. Like, don't call and tell me nothing because I'm going to say what I have to say when it comes to how he's treating you. Because hopefully one day I'll say something and a light bulb will come off in your motherfucking head and you'll stop with this nigga. But yeah, so that's what I mean by trauma dumping. And people do that. And I have no problem, y'all. If you call me and you tell me things, I promise that I'm not talking about you. I can't even think of anybody that trauma dumps on me right now. Anybody that I talk to and we talk about things that's going on in their life, it's us venting to each other. And I feel like it's just really us like needing each other. And it's just it's kind of like a come together type moment. Like, are you going through that too? Oh man, me too. Like, or yes, I went through that. Let me tell you what I did. This will maybe help you. This is something you can think about. And that's really the goal. The goal is not to like pour all your burdens on a person and not have anything to, pour into them on a positive note. Thank y'all so much for coming back for another episode of the Healing Version podcast with me, your host, Debo. I just want to say that you guys are so amazing. You're awesome. And I appreciate you coming back week after week. I appreciate all the encouragement. I want to send a very, very, very special birthday shout out to my middle child, Latrell. I love you, Latrell. Happy birthday to you. To everybody else, if y'all want to follow us on social media, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, I'm on Snapchat, and what is it called? What's the other one? The twin that came down here and distracted me, y'all. But that's okay. That's, I am doing this right now from my house. One day, I'm going to be in a studio and I'm going to lock the twins out and they're not going to be able to come in there. But thank y'all so much for coming back. Remember, if you want to write in, you can always send us a message at thehealingversion@gmail.com. We're on Facebook at The Healing Version, Instagram at The Healing Version. Yeah, it's The Healing Version podcast. And I'm out.